Howdy, Embers. Welcome back to the corner. My name is Heron.
And I'm Gigas.
And we're going to be doing something a little bit different for this podcast. But welcome to Campfire Embers. Normally we just talk about whatever, but today Gigas has a little bit of a plan for this one.
Yeah, so the kind of goal for this video is just kind of just doing whatever. We wanted to try to take a bit of a risk and not have a plan going into a podcast. But then I was also like, hey, what if we did this?
Yep, so we're going to be making a D&D character.
Yeah, so the reason why doing that is I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier today. As of streaming this, these episodes will have already come out, but specifically in our 1K subscriber, I wish, I wish,
Please.
but 1K viewer / 15 subs special. I talked a little bit about it, but
Yeah, we played Mario Kart. Go check it out.
yeah, so so pretty much I had an idea of turning Azeroth, the Tower of Azeroth, which is one of my homebrewed campaigns. I talked about this a little bit on our previous one of our previous episodes, based around D&D specifically. I kind of talked about it a little bit, but then I was just like, you know what? I think this would be really cool to put this into a story perspective based with a main character.
Yep.
And so that's kind of what I want to do, but I also grew up with a lot of Minecraft roleplay, such as people like Chris and the Mike, Carflow, Ashley Ossity,
Old Mouse stuff.
And that's a lot of the stuff that I grew up with, and I kind of wanted to bring that back a little bit. If people like it, people don't. I don't really care. It's kind of a passion project for me.
Yeah, there you go. This entire channel is a passion project, so.
Yeah. So what I'm wanting to do is pretty much take the entire story. What the first season's going to be is the entire first floor of Azeroth, maybe even more depending on
if it's received well. If we want to cap it off after that, it really just depends on what happens with it. So
yeah, and so we're gonna have actual people voice acting characters and portraying certain characters based off of their characteristics, personalities, and stuff like that. And to keep it kind of ambiguous for the people that are actually like still playing this campaign, this story is going to bring a light of new characters that are not in the campaign, but in a story perspective. So there's going to be a main character that nobody in the campaign will ever see, because they're going to be some of the people who are actually voice acting.
Think of it like playing a Skyrim character. Every single one is going to be different, so to keep everything ambiguous, we're going to be doing exactly what we did when we first started Azeroth, and we're going to be rolling for everything when building this character. So this will be completely random. This will not be selected except for cosmetics and voices. That's really it.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what I wanted to get into with Heron's character. He will be portraying the main character of this story. In terms of actual release dates for this, it's up in the air. There is a lot of script writing, story building, because I'm going to build an entire world for this event.
In Minecraft.
Yeah. So I got to learn a lot of world edit and all that.
We gotta figure out what texture pack works the best. We gotta figure out how to use Optifine and
a lot of like
role
play based mod packs as well.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of help delve into more of like the storytelling and things like that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool. If you guys are interested, just stick around for that. I honestly think this would be really a fun thing to try and do, and something I've always kind of wanted to do. But yeah, so we're going to be making you a character, because you are the main character.
This will be the character that I play in our our Azeroth roleplay. So this will be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be taking the role of narrator, narrating the story, explaining things going on from an outsider's perspective, and also the BBEG of this story. It would make sense. I am the DM of the real life campaign, so it would only make sense that I would be the BBEG of this story.
Yep. So here we go.
All right, so we've started a new character. I wanted to buy a book before starting this to have access to more races and classes and stuff, but unfortunately I had some problems with that and I wasn't able to make it work, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So first off, we're going to be starting with we'll do your name last. I feel like
we got to name the character
I feel
after
like,
we finish it.
I feel like your character should your name should portray your character.
Yep. So just so y'all know what we're setting up for this, just to make it as random and to be as inclusive as possible for all content, we're gonna be we have for our sources, we have homebrew content, Magic the Gathering content, Embers content, non-core D&D content, Dragonlance content, and Planescape content. For partner content, we have Critical Role. For dice rolling, obviously that's there. Optional features, we have optional class features and customize your origin. This will be XP advancement type. This will be fixed for hit point type. And for prerequisites, we have feats and multi-class requirements. And we have show level scale spells. We have no encumbrance. We have ignore coin weights because of how the story of Azeroth works.
Yes.
So and then we have modifiers up top just for stuff like that. So that's all we're doing. Anyways, let's get into the rolling. So we have for our options for what race I can be an Aarakocra, I can be a Centaur. We can do a custom lineage. Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Genasi, Gnome, Goblin, Goliath, Half-Elf, Half-Orc, Halfling, Human, Loxodon, Minotaur, Simic Hybrid, Tiefling, Variant Aasimar, and Vidalcan. So here we go. We've put all of those into a random number generator, which we will find.
Actually, I think the dice should say this one. So we're not going to be doing Warforged in here just because of the way that the story is told. But yeah, if it would work a little bit better, I might have used Warforged, but in this campaign, Warforged are not a part of this world.
Yep. So here we go. It's the very first roll. I'll be rolling a d20 because there are 20 different races I can be. Here we go. This is the defining moment. What do I look like?
That is
a 16.
A 16. All right.
So number 16 is 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. I am a Minotaur.
That's very interesting.
Alrighty. Ability score increase. Yep. Yeah, that works. Alrighty.
All right. You are a Minotaur.
I am a Minotaur. Alrighty.
All right. You have a Minotaur skill.
We'll do
We'll do intimidation.
Yeah, it works.
All right.
Moving on to class choosing. Alrighty, time to pull up the random number generator.
Here, I'll pull it up.
So we do have Critical Role turn on, as we said. So we have 14 different classes we can choose from. You have your standard D&D classes, and then the only thing that's actually added into this is Blood Hunter. So,
all right,
here we go.
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am a druid.
Interesting. That kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah, considering that I'm a Minotaur? Absolutely.
That's very interesting.
Wait, that means I can take the form of a human.
That's true.
This is about to get really interesting.
That's really cool. All right,
Alrighty,
so
proficiencies. We will do.
That's an 8.
3, 4. Yep, we'll just roll a d8 for this. Here, I can just do this. Number 1. My skill will be animal handling.
Which makes sense.
Yep, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, yes, 7, right? Yeah, 7. Okay, sorry, I can count. So random number generator, 1 to 7.
All right.
Alrighty, my second one will be
1. Arcana.
Okay,
How did this turn out oddly normal?
right. All right, here we go. All right, time to get some scores going. Alrighty, so for strength. So for this, we will be using the 6 the 3d6 method. So for all of these, for those of you that don't know what that means, it means we're going to be taking the sum of all 3 of our of the d6 rolls, and we're going to be putting into the stats. We're not going to be choosing these stats; these are going to be rolled flat. So right now, we're going to be rolling for strength.
Yeah, normally people do 46 and then drop the lowest. But this is entirely because this is what I did for the original campaign of Azeroth, so I wanted to keep it the same.
Yeah, there you go. Alrighty, so our first number is going to be, it's a 4. And then we have a 5, so we're up to 9. And finally, a 1.
A 10.
We got a 10 for strength.
All right.
Man, I do horrible on strength rolls, always. All right.
Dex.
Time for Dex. Number 1 is 6. Number 2 is 5. We're up to 11. Number 3 is 1.
12.
We're up to 12. Alrighty, time to determine my health. Please don't be a Jackal. Please don't be a Jackal.
It's going to be a 3.
Alrighty, so our first one is going to be for Constitution. You called it. It was a 3. That was amazing. Alright, 3, 5, so we're up to 8. And finally, 9. Yikes. Alrighty, Intelligence. 1 is a 3. 2 is a 5, so we're up to 8. And 3 is
1.
a 1. So we are up to 9 for Intelligence. This is not going well. Time for Wisdom. 6. 8. 6. 14.
All right. Because of your very low rolls, I'm going to make you just do a 46 here. You can't die in the first episode.
Yep, so, yeah, we're not going to have a recoverance here. I told you you would falter to this eventually.
Here. I think you can just...
Yep, you can. So we'll just do this.
All right, 46.
Alrighty, re-rolling everything starting from scratch. Strength is... Alrighty, our numbers are 3, 2, 1, and 2, so strength will be a 7.
That was worse.
Thanks. Alrighty, time for Dex.
Rolling Dex.
We have a 3, 3, 5, and 1, so that would be 11 for Dex.
All right. Constitution.
Alrighty. We have a 6, 4, 2, and 5, so that will be a 15 for Constitution. That makes sense. That's much better. Alrighty.
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
This would make sense if you were not very smart.
I guess we'll see. That's also a 15. We rolled 4 5s.
That's impressive.
Alrighty. Time for Wisdom.
All right.
Can I use my Intelligence?
13.
That's not too bad. I'll take that.
So
We got a
that's a
3,
10.
2.
No, it's 11.
Yeah, there you go. So we got a 3, 2, 5, and 3, so that will be 11 for my Wisdom. And finally, for Charisma, we have a 1, 2, 4, and 6, so that will be a 12 for Charisma. Not too bad. The only thing I rolled horrible on was Strength, and because that's just my luck with D&D characters.
All right. You have a background.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
You have
11,
a
12,
total
13, 14,
of...
15, 16, 17 options. Alrighty, so we'll be using a random number generator.
No, it's a 27.
Oh, yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
We already counted this before.
Just double checking. Okay. Alrighty, 1 to 27. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go.
13.
Lucky number 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Haunted one.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yep. I guess we'll see how I get to play with that. Alrighty.
All right.
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
This will be our skill proficiencies. Or my skill proficiency.
2.
2. Religion. And we'll just do a coin toss. for religion here. So we have
Investigation.
Religion investigation. Interesting. Languages. We didn't count this. Sorry. Let's see.
Pick. Yes.
And now.
Infernal.
All right. Random timing. I'm not looking. 3, 2, 1. Stop. Deep speech.
That's interesting.
I can speak infernal and deep speech, but I can't speak. Can I just speak common?
I think everything can speak common. So.
Alrighty, so thankfully I can at least communicate, because it would have been very interesting to only be able to talk with like fire demons and like Vecna.
All right, 1 through 9 to choose your alignment.
Alrighty, here we go. How is my main character going to start out? We have a 9.
Neutral,
Real
good.
I'll take it.
All right.
Alrighty, let's see here.
All right, so this is you now.
Yep.
Based off of your character, what will you choose?
Let's find out here. We will be. Let's see here. So we are a Minotaur druid that is haunted. Is decent in religion and investigation. Can speak infernal and deep speech. And has a neutral good alignment. I think it only makes sense for me. Sorry, I gotta look something up.
While Heron
You almost call me Gigas.
while Heron looks whatever he's looking up.
Did I lose all my progress?
No, it should save.
Okay.
How are you feeling about this character?
It's gonna be interesting.
It's very good. It's gonna be very interesting to portray a Minotaur, especially in a Minecraft role. So we might tweak some things there.
Skins will be interesting, so we'll see how this goes.
So yeah, why Minecraft instead of
anything else?
Like just normal animation or anything like that?
We can't animate. Are you kidding me?
I will be good enough to do that. So and also it's kind of sentimental to me. So I think it would be a lot of fun and kind of brings back the early 2000s.
1, 2, 3, 4. I think what we'll do.
What are you doing?
What makes sense? What domain makes sense? I'm a very smart Minotaur. We'll go with knowledge. Who is the god of knowledge in D&D lore?
That is a great question. I am not entirely sure about that.
Ogma. Is the deity of bards, inspiration, invention, and knowledge in Heron. Ogma the Binder, the Lord of Knowledge. Ogma is the god of inspiration, invention, knowledge, everything above all else.
Would that fit a druid though?
I would say, as a tie, yeah, because it's either this or the goddess of, or the god of nature, which would be
Sylvanus,
which is Forgotten Realms. So we want nature gods.
Well, Forgotten Realms is D&D.
Yeah, so Sylvanus, that brought up the exact same page. Check that out. Okay. The Celtic and Feranian power of wild nature, standing in contrast. Yeah, Sylvanus and Ogma, I think, are gonna be my religion. Or is going to be what my faith is. So,
very interesting.
If I can find, did we lose all of this, or did it all save?
Nope, it all saved.
Okay.
All right, characteristics How are you gonna make your character look like?
Trying to find Faith.
It's under character details.
Am I blind? I think I'm blind. Thank you.
Apologies for the lack of speech. It's like we're trying to figure things out.
Okay. Alrighty. It's just characteristics. Let's see here. What makes the most sense? So these are personality traits. So I think since it is 8, we'll go ahead and roll these. We have. I put no trust in divine beings.
Well, that completely contradicts what you just did.
So okay. I have an idea. We'll fix that in my character's backstory.
Or you believe in them, but you don't trust them.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, that works perfectly well. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and add that. Ideals is a D6, which is a 4. I have a dark calling that puts me above the law.
Interesting. You're a neutral good, but that's chaotic.
So I guess it's just a tendency that...
it's a chaotic tendency.
Yeah, it's just a chaotic tendency, so that's something I have. Alrighty, bonds. It's also a D6. We're going to throw this on there. We have 4. A terrible guilt consumes me. I hope that I can find redemption through my actions. So
that could lead into your background, like your backstory.
Yeah. All right. Flaws. It's also a D6. 1. I have certain rituals that I must follow every day. I can never break from them. Right,
that's a very interesting combination of
things.
Yeah. Especially since one of your skill proficiencies is religion.
Yep, but I don't trust.
What kind of character is your character?
But I don't trust gods. That's interesting. Huh. You know, as like a preparatory thing, I wonder if because I don't trust them, I'm trying to avoid them as much as possible. So, and knowledge is your best asset at that point. So just because I know everything about a god does not mean that I worship them.
It can be very interesting.
Yeah, so that will be very interesting to work with. This is a very cool character already.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm still unsure about the whole Minotaur thing.
Yeah, no, because I could just turn into a human.
With your druid, yes. Technically.
Because I am a druid, I can't just wild shape into a human.
Yeah. I would like to get Origins mod going in too. I think if I could find like a Minotaur specific origin, that would be really cool.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see, character details. So this is all okay. Physical characteristics, hair. Alrighty, how to make this interesting? I am a druid, but I'm a minotaur. Minotaurs are normally covered in like fur, so we will. To make this interesting, because not only is this going to be my hair in like human form, but this is going to be the coat of whatever thing I wild shape into, if it has fur or scales or anything like that. So I think we're going to go white.
Interesting.
So we will have white hair, which will be the coat of the Minotaur. Skin will just be, I would say, like, if my hair is white, I think it only makes sense that my skin would not necessarily be pale, but it's definitely something to, like, off-kilter that. So I think we'll probably do a deep tan.
All right. That makes sense for a Minotaur.
Yeah. Eyes, we will do something to go along with white. Purple's always worked pretty well towards complementing white. Height, I'm a Minotaur. What are my parameters?
Well, that's interesting because you're half animal.
So we'll just do base form height here. I can be between 6 and 7 feet tall. We will be with average height of 6'6". Okay, yeah, we'll probably do about 6'7" then.
All right.
Weights, heavy boy. Heavy boy's got to be around. If I'm this tall and I'm a Minotaur, I've got to be pretty dang heavy. I would say, because Minotaurs are like like notorious for like charging and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
So it only makes sense I would be a very very heavy.
You're
thing.
also weak.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to. That's the tricky part about this. Is I can't hit very hard, but I could be heavy. So how does this work?
I would say ranging probably around 300 to 400 pounds for a Minotaur would be pretty.
We'll probably do around 350, just to cut the balance. But because of my my lack of strength, we're gonna make my Minotaur klutz.
Interesting.
I think that'll even it out a little bit. Age. Let's see here. We'll probably be it'll probably be around 25. Just in the just for like humanoid age going into Azeroth, but Minotaur age. Sorry. That's not what I wanted. This is nothing of what I wanted. This doesn't help me at all. Wow.
I think your age as 25 is good.
Yep, and then we will be a male Minotaur. Personal characteristics. Yep, that's all there. Notes. We will go ahead and throw.
You have nothing there right now.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and throw other as a personality thing.
Yeah. So pretty much a little bit of background into the world of Azeroth. The characters start off as a human, like everyone, like you, me, everyone, just in a normal world. But something happens in the main world that ends up killing the characters and reviving into a new body with the memories of what they were before. But
with the only difference being between like the mortal world and the world of Azeroth being a text screen, a cyber text screen that says "Initiate Azeroth."
yeah,
Obviously, in this to make the world be a thing, we activate said Azeroth,
yeah,
and you get dropped randomly in floor 1 somewhere.
yep, just randomly in floor 1. It's very interesting about exactly where that's going to take place. But yeah, so you're in a new body, but you have no recollection of who you are or who you were, because the person that was that person is now you.
Exactly. So all you have are your memories of the real world, but you can't get there. So you have to figure out. You essentially just have to figure out what your place in all of this is. So that's kind of the predecessing era to Azeroth, and why the randomness in building your character is random.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen. The story is entirely based around the character. Like there's a main story, of course, but in terms of storylines, it's entirely dependent on what the characters are.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a different story solely because Heron has a different character.
Exactly. So like for example, in our current playthrough of Azeroth, I rolled a rogue, and I was also a halfling as well. So that worked out extremely well, because that is like my standard D&D character setup.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, because of how we randomly rolled, I had poor, and I mean aggressively poor constitution.
Yeah.
To the point where I die at least once every battle we have.
Even recently.
Yes. I almost made it through that battle unscathed. I was so mad about that. But of course I had to open my big mouth and try to slish slash, and slish slash ended up killing me. Yay. Anyways, moving forward, because you start just randomly dropped in the middle of whatever, all you really have are the clothes on your back. Mm-hmm. So we will be starting with nothing.
Yeah, and where that will be is entirely up to me.
Yep.
You
will drop me somewhere in floor 1, and we'll go from there.
I will have to start up more brain stopped working.
It's all right.
I'll have to make more characters for other people. But in terms of everything else, it's mostly just script writing, building the world and buildings and towns, and making sure everything works. I gotta figure out how to set up a dialogue system for NPCs. I gotta even figure out how this is even going to work in terms of a viewer's perspective. I would like to get like replay mods for some like action shots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like a terminal, like the whole thing about like the initiate Azeroth, like how
you're gonna put that into
how am I
it,
going to how am I gonna do that? So that's a whole thing that I gotta figure out.
How are you gonna incorporate the user interface type thing? How are you gonna because the interesting thing is Azeroth is a it's treated like it's a VR MMORPG to the point where you have an interface that you can interact with in the world. That's why like coin weight and stuff like that doesn't matter.
Yeah, and the thing is nobody that originates in the world can see that.
Exactly. The user interface is specifically for the heroes.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. They have to climb 100 floors. Every floor is going to be a little different from each other. Specifically, every 10 floors is a massive floor that will require a bunch of quests and a whole bunch of running around to be able to get through it. Every 10 floors will have a level cap that may require the characters to go back to previous floors to level up and do other quests that may not have been available at that time, but they now have access to.
Yeah, in floor 1 there's a mob scouting around an area that is way above anything anybody can attack at that point. So it creates a little bit of a stealth section, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all that I wanted to really get off of with the D&D aspect in itself.
Mm-hmm. So this character, I suppose we do need to name this character.
Yes. What are you gonna name this character?
I'm usually pretty good at coming up with names on the fly. Let's see here. So it's a Minotaur, it's a Druid. It only makes sense that I do something Celtic. So we will do.
I find it funny how it gives you suggestions for names.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's. I'm honestly looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be really fun because it's bringing it's a game within a game within a game.
Let's see here.
And I've gotten really good with portraying stories and stuff like that, and I really want to broaden out more and see how far I can really take it, because this is kind of like a stepping stone into eventually running D&D live for people to watch and everything like that. So I think this is a good place to start and kind of gets me more into a comfortable zone to start really doing that, because my biggest issue right now is like everyone in my party says like, yes, the campaign's great, story's great, it's really interactive and intuitive. However, I can't say the same for people that may be watching it. I don't know if it may be boring for them or not as interactive for them. So it's kind of like a foot in the door to kind of get a grasp of like what you guys like, in a sense, if it's like working, if it's not working, and then I can go off from there and kind of build from that. Did you find a name for yourself?
Yep. We are gonna go with
do.
There it is. We are going to be the name of the Minotaur Druid that will be that the story of Azeroth will be centered around in our Minecraft roleplay series will be named Dauntless O Helmsgarb.
Interesting.
I think it fits pretty well.
We will see what the story lies for this character.
Eventually. In the meantime, what's going on in your life right now, Gigas?
Nothing much. A lot of just kind of chilling recently. I'm off for Thanksgiving break. By the way, happy Thanksgiving for everyone. This is gonna be coming out shortly after Thanksgiving. What's up?
Sorry, I just saw my HP.
11 HP.
Wow. I thought my constitution would have done better. Oh, that hurts my soul.
I think that's... Well, no, it's not worse than your rogue. Your rogue had like...
My rogue had like 6 starting out. So considering that I'm a klutz, this actually helps a little bit.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, so I'm currently taking time off for Thanksgiving, which is why we are recording so much, because we're going to be taking the week of Thanksgiving off.
Yep. So tomorrow, which is the 19th through whatever that is, I think.
Sunday till Sunday.
Yeah,
so
Sunday to Sunday,
18...
so 19 to 26. Yeah, so we will not be recording until possibly the 27th. So everything that is coming out nowadays is being recorded on the 18th. You're welcome.
I will be making sure to edit all of this out, so that way you guys have content over the next week. It's going to be a lot of work on me because I'm the sole editor right now.
Yeah,
but
we're working on it. We're getting closer.
We're getting closer. But yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. That's kind of the reason why we've been doing so many streams today and Sunday as well. We did kind of half of our streams that day.
Yeah, but it's also the same time while we're recording like big chunks of stuff in the span of a week, because to get a week's worth of recording done, we need a day. So, and considering that we're taking off next week, we have to do a second recording session this week, which is what today is. So,
oh, I'm happy to announce that yesterday I finally got my car back after 3 months of it being in the shop.
Yep. It made me remind myself, because back in high school, junior year forward, I was your primary driver.
Yeah. So pretty much what happened with me is I had some issues with it that had been spanning there since before I got it. I took it in thinking it was going to be a week, and then turns out my warranty was just like, oh, we're going to wait for like 3 months until we get a word back to you. And then it took like an additional several weeks just to get the parts in for them to fix it. So that was fun.
Yep. How did it feel going back to your roots of having to borrow your mom's car for a little while?
It was weird. It was actually very weird to drive my own car again. Like being like in a different car, like different height and everything. Like it was like a foreign vehicle to me.
I felt the exact same way when I got my car, because for those of you that I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, I drive manual. I prefer manual to automatic for a lot of reasons, but for every manual vehicle that you drive, if you ever do want to learn how to drive a stick, you have to find your sweet spot, and you have to spend at least a week or two driving a car to truly figure out how to drive it, as opposed to an automatic where it takes about a day.
Yeah.
But it's worth it in the end because of all the benefits you get from driving a manual. So Mr. Gigas over here claims he can drive a manual, but I have yet to see him actually do it.
It's been a good couple of years since I've driven a manual, but I have driven one before.
So he claims.
Don't remember the year of it, but it was a Ford Bronco that I drove. That was manual. So.
Yep. So yeah, those are cars are fun. I love cars. Going back to D&D, my story with D&D is kind of funny, because I didn't really think about D&D as a thing until season 1 of Stranger Things just like happened to be put on Netflix, and I was just like, oh, that's cool. I've heard about D&D, but I've never played it, so that's awesome. Sweet. This is just a thing that exists now. But then I found out that my sister, when I got to high school, was playing with a party of some of our friends, and they were kind enough to let me drop in into their campaign, which was really really cool of them because that was my first experience with D&D. As as follows, I'll give you one guess. Can you guess what class I played?
A rogue.
Yes. Rogues are. I like playing rogues for a lot of reasons. I'm sort of delving into a little bit more of a barbarian style because it's very fun to play a hothead, like just expert at combat. But rogues are fun because they're almost always anti-heroes, and they're not necessarily on the side of everybody in the party. So it adds a little bit of a little bit of a gap between trust for characters, which focuses a lot of things, and the combat is especially interesting because while the others are keeping any like number of mobs distracted, I'm sneaking around trying to find an opening, and I normally do the best damage as a rogue, either via flanking or a sneak attack. So that's really where that whole comes into play, which is why I find it more fun because it's easier for me to get into character with stuff like that. Although, like I said, as of late, it's been easier for me to just go all Dunar on stuff. So one character I'm playing in we're running through Curse of Strahd at the moment, which Gigas is DMing. I'm actually playing two characters in that campaign because of our lack of people being able to meet on a consistent basis. So I'm playing a Water Genasi Druid, and and I'm also be playing a Mountain Dwarf Barbarian, which is by the name of Jorg Hilmstad, and he is the most fun character I have ever voiced in anything ever because he's just a hothead, but he's suave about being a hothead.
Well, you were portraying him as like this like really like just laid back person as well. Like,
exactly.
Kind of like a dum that also knows his way around.
Exactly. Like he's definitely not smart intellectually. Like one of the founding areas when I was looking around to get a map of the area, I couldn't read the map. I had to learn how to read the map, which was very interesting. And I also I just flat out couldn't read. So it's so all of the party members have to teach me like basic things like that, but put me in a combat situation and I take full charge.
Yeah, and it's very contradicting between your other character as well, who is kind of
the unspoken like leader of the party, and he's a druid and he's very very intellectually smart.
Yeah, and then of course, which this is gonna make for very interesting stuff later on in the campaign because his Water Genasi has decided to have feelings for Irina,
which is a very prominent character in Strahd. But the funniest thing is when the initial party with Mortson and the other two members of our campaign came back to figure out where to go next, and they actually got introduced with Jorg. Jorg's first words to Mortson were, "Ooh, pretty lady," ignoring everything and immediately going to Irene.
Yeah, so that led drama between your two characters,
which was hilarious because you cannot fight Jorg. If you try to fight Jorg, you will lose. And so Jorg ended up suplexing Mortson into the ground and knocking him out. And they agreed that may the best man win, so to speak, with Irina. So I've got two characters, both drastically different play styles and things like that, both pursuing the same character romantic wise. So it's the juxtaposition between all like those characters keeps me on the fly, but it's very entertaining because whenever I just want to take like a step back from the campaign a little bit, I could have a little bit of fun and I could have a little comedic episode between Mortson and Jorg, which I mean it makes you three laugh really hard. So I would say I'm doing pretty good with it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun and a lot of challenging things as well with that campaign in particular.
Yeah, I mean it's not only hard for the players, but it's excruciatingly difficult for the DM because of how much data they have to process.
Yeah. It's constant reading back through your notes, making sure things are right and everything like that. And I'm not the best person with memory as well, so it's a lot of having to reread things and making sure that I'm correct, because I don't want to send them on something that I'm not fully prepared for.
And I mean, we've had close calls already, so it's been interesting. Jorg being the hothead idiot himself, tried to take on 3 Timberwolves at once and died in the first hit.
Well, that was more so just very low rolls and very high rolls on the Wolves.
Yeah, so I just had Jorg just had very, very bad luck there and woke up in the camp where he got the map and he met everyone. So
it worked out in the end.
Yep, there it is. So, but yeah, I shouldn't say he died, but he was severely incapacitated. I think he was knocked out for 2 weeks?
No, he just knocked out for the night.
Okay, I felt I don't know. I took a lot of damage there, so either way. But it's definitely interesting, and I love playing these characters because it focuses me to work on my acting ability, and I've been acting since 7th grade, and lately I've been getting into a lot more voice acting, which has been a lot of fun. So yeah, it's getting me out of my comfort zone and me learning a different style of acting, which is really, really cool. So
yeah, you asked me what was going on in my life, what's going on in yours?
Well, so for a little bit of context, college didn't exactly work out for me super well. I went to a different state for college, away from where I grew up, and normally that's what you're supposed to do and everything. And but the thing is, I have a severe phobia of heights. And I requested for my dorm room because they allowed us to request if we had the ability to if we had stuff like that. So I requested to be somewhere between the middle of the dorms and in the bottom, just because I don't do well with heights. I've never done well with heights, and it's been a constant problem in a lot of areas. But they put me square on the top floor, and I was very, very uneasy for the 1 week I spent there. And I was praying pretty extensively that I was making the right choices, and so by the end of that first week, before all my bills were due and everything, that I had to fully sign on to being a part of this college for the next 4 years, I decided to drop out. And that came with repercussions. I'm still paying off my contract with my dorm. That essentially I paid for the first full year debt wise, so I'm still paying that off. Which is when I refer to my debt, that's largely what I'm talking about. And we're getting really, really close. I have a little over $1,000 left I have to pay off, which is really, really cool. And as soon as I get done with paying that off, I get to start saving up for my PC setup. So that's what we're waiting on for me to start working on that. Also, don't treat this like a cry for help. This is I don't want this to be like a sob story. Please don't please don't give me money for paying off my debt. That's not what this is supposed to be. I'm just leveling with you guys for why things are a little tough for me right now. As such, I got a gig as a lifeguard, which I've been working in aquatics for a while, and for the city I was growing up in. So I went to a different city near the one I live, and I got certified to be a lifeguard over there, and then I got a promotion just back in August to be a manager, to be a part of the management team in the aquatics field over there. So it's I'm definitely making strides in stuff like that. So yeah, for work, that's what I do. I'm an aquatics manager, which is really, really cool because I get to talk to lifeguards, and I get to balance chemicals and all sorts of different things for aquatic recreation, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, that's a little bit of insight on our lives.
Yep. It's just but yeah, no, it's what I do. It's what I do for a living right now, and it's been interesting because I'm still technically part-time, so there's an hour cap I'm allowed to work in a year before they have to give me some sort of benefit. So to avoid that, they're giving me some vacation weeks that I'm having to take. So one of those vacation weeks is the upcoming 19th through the 27th. So that's part of the reason why I'm going. I'm gonna go visit some family, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really really excited. I get to spend Thanksgiving in a different place. I've only visited it a couple of times, so I get to go hang out with my family, which is really really cool.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much everything we really want to talk about. I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, we're a little short, but I mean, I can't really think of anything else that I'd particularly want to talk about this episode.
This was a little bit more of a D&D style, like where are we going with the channel, what's happening in our lives at the moment type podcast. So it was more of like an update podcast, as opposed to what we normally do. But we will promise that we will be going completely unscripted, except for like maybe a starting topic for our next podcast. So yeah, we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting.
Yep.
Especially with coming up with stuff on the fly as well.
Yep, I mean, you just gotta let things flow. That's the only way to get through stuff like that. So yeah, I guess look forward to that. But that'll do it for this week's podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and we hope you have a wonderful day. Go check out our subscriber special and all of our other content as well. We work extremely hard on it. If you want a little bit more insight towards where the channel is going to be going, besides what we talked about as well, we go into that in our subscriber special as well with different plans we have in the works for that.
Mm-hmm.
So including how we'll be tackling the Zelda series, what my next Let's Play is, and how exactly we're going to be handling a versus of Breath of the Wild. So look forward to that. All stuff that is in the future for the channel. Thank you guys for listening, and have a great day. Deuces.
Bye.